Hello, my name is Alex Benitez, and I'm the director of Moundville Archaeological Park. Welcome to one of the Southeast's most important Native American cultural heritage sites. Now known as Moundville, the ancient city behind me was once a major Mississippian cultural metropolis. At its height around 800 years ago, the city had more than 24 platform mounds of various heights surrounding this vast open area that we call a plaza. On top of the mounds and in the plaza, hundreds of structures were built as residences, work areas, play areas, craft working spaces, and places for performing important rituals and politics. Everyday life for thousands of Mississippi and Moundville residents occurred right here. But archaeologists also believe that much of this everyday life supported a grander goal. Moundville was a special place. It was a connection to the afterlife, a portal to the next world. Today we preserve and celebrate the city's past and its importance to many Native American people who consider Moundville a homeland. Historically, Central Alabama was home to Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Cherokee peoples. Many tribal members return to Moundville every year on special visits and during our fall celebration of Southeastern Native American cultures. Today, Moundville is protected as part of Moundville Archaeological Park, a unit of the University of Alabama Museums. It has been designated a National Historic Landmark, and it is also listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Established in the 1930s as Mound State Monument with the aid of the Civilian Conservation Corps, the park opened its original museum to the public in 1939. Over the past 80 years, much has changed in the park, but the mounds and interest in Mississippian past remain.
Hello and welcome to the virtual component of Birdfest. My name is Lindsay Gordon. I'm the Education Outreach Coordinator here at Moundville Park, and thank you for joining us. Today, our special guest is somebody I call Walking Sunshine, Miss Pam Sloan. She's with Discovering Alabama. While we are broadcasting today, feel free to leave us a comment. And as a reminder, this is live, so anything can happen. So, Miss Pam, what are you going to be showing us today? Oh, Miss Pam, I think you are muted, if you can hear me.
Hey, Lindsay, I'm going to pop in here real quick. We might need to get Pam to go out of StreamYard and come back in. Maybe it'll reset everything. So if you all can leave StreamYard and then come back in through the same link, we'll try it again, and we'll take them out for a second until they get reset, because it sounds like their audio dropped out, which sometimes happens when you go live, unfortunately. So I guess, Lindsay, while we're waiting on them to reset their phone, Birdfeeders.
Yes.
You can make Birdfeeders pretty easily yourself. I know Pam's probably going to go into that, but there are lots of ways to make Birdfeeders. Some simple ways to do it at your home with very few ingredients, which is inspiring to me because I'm not very crafty.
Nor I'm learning to be crafty. This Pam and Allie, both education outreach coordinators at the museums, have been doing a great job of helping me with that skill. We also have a simple bird feeder, lesson plan or craft on our website at moundville.museums.ua.edu. So if you guys want to make a simple bird feeder using a pine cone, which Miss Pam I think is going to show you, then there we have it on our website for you guys as well. So she's going to show us some pretty cool things. I'm really excited about it.
All right, let's see if we can get Pam back on, see if her audio is working now. Let's see. Pam,
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
So we can hear you, but we can't see you anymore. So we'll have to keep trying with the camera. All right. So while they are still experimenting with that, so Birdfest this year. So we had a lot of cool things that people can go check out in addition to this Birdfeeder live stream, which we'll try to get here going in a second. So Lindsay, what kinds of things can people check out if they haven't already?
Yeah, so actually when you come to the park, we actually have a craft packet that you can take home that includes a lot of our crafts for birds. It has lesson plans in it. You can go along with our videos that we have posted, like the Eddie the Eagle video, where you can make a eagle puppet. And we have the bird feeder craft packet, and we have Also, we also have a birding list. So at the park, there we can see various birds here. So we've included our birding list that actually was created by, I think, John Hall and Betsy Irwin. So we have a birding list. So if you can even request that list when you decide to come to the museum. So if you would like to come visit us here at Moundville and you're like, hey, I want to check out the birding list, just ask someone at admissions and they'll be able to gather that information for you. So we have that as well. They ended this morning, but we had 2 tours that were limited, and they were awesome. Dwight Lehman, who is one of our wonderful docents, did birding tours for us this morning and yesterday morning, and I learned a lot about birding. Yesterday, you can go back and check out Meg Ford and I had a conversation about birding in the Black Belt, and that was really cool. So visit them at Alabama Audubon, as well as we had the Alabama Wildlife Center send us a video about the importance of vultures because they're actually super, super important.
Yeah, turkey vultures specifically, which you can find flying around Moundville Archaeological Park,
Yes.
which is something I just recently learned. So that's pretty cool. All right, we'll see if we can get Pam back on. See if we can get Miss Pam. All right, Pam, can we hear you?
Yes.
Good.
Awesome.
All right, I'll get out of here, Lindsay. Glad we got Pam back.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pam Sloan, and I work with Discovering Alabama. And Dr. Doug has written 2 books to help us go out and find some of the most unique birds in the state of Alabama. One is the Alabama wetlands, and the other is the Alabama forests. And of course, we have our DVDs, and one of the favorites of mine would be the Alabama whooping crane. And you can go up to Joe Wheeler State Park around February and get to see these birds with a 7.5-foot wingspan. And you can also look around for other birds. Our woodpecker, the red cockaded woodpecker, is endangered, but you can still learn about it through our DVDs, and they are online at discoveringalabama.org. So, with all these teacher guides, there's a lot you can learn about Discovering Alabama, and all of that is online for you now. And one of the things today that we're going to talk about is how to feed the birds. And one of my favorite sources is looking at Birds in Bloom. And Birds in Bloom puts out a special edition every year with their birding books, and they give recipes for how to create your own bird feed. And this one is for suet. And I'm going to use some of these recipes today as we start making our bird feeders, and we'll load those up with some special seed. We can't always see a way to feed these big birds, but we can go to the place where those big birds are. And these are some of our sandhill cranes in this picture. And people get those mixed up with our whooping cranes. But for right now, we're going to go in and just practice making some bird feeders that are homemade, and they use recycled materials. And that's good because we don't want to be throwing plastic into our garbage. We need to reuse all of that. So let's take a look inside and see how we can make our bird feeders. I have a lot of things to look at here. And one of the things that I thought was helpful, the first kind of bird feeder I ever made was out of a milk jug. And what I did was just draw a circle to cut a hole and then punch a hole for a dowel stick to go in. And I used these bamboo skewers instead of dowel sticks because they tend to work better with the plastic. And I'm going to show you how to use those and make it very easy. Another thing that you can use that makes it helpful is to get a little drill like this one, and you can just punch your holes in very easily. And if you don't have a drill, you can do it like I've always done it, being very careful with an ice pick, and you want to put it down on something harder, and you can just punch it right in. and stir it around, and that works very good. So then we have a place for our dowel to go into, and that's the little perch for our bird to perch on it and be able to eat the seed that we put down inside here. So let's take a look at how to do all of that. First of all, we cut 2 holes, one on each side that the birds can get into. And we've punched our little holes on both sides for the dowel sticks to go through. And I've also punched some tiny little holes in the bottom for drainage in case it rains, like it has been for the last couple of days. You want it to be able to drip out, but not let the seeds out. And you make the holes very tiny. Again, you can use a tiny little drill like this or your ice pick. So I use the drill on this one, just punching those little holes. But the birds can go inside and feed. And the good thing about these, you don't lose a lot of expensive bird feeder stuff to the raccoons, because the raccoons will walk off with it. They just tear them down and take them back to their families and take them with them. So it's a good idea to make some of these inexpensive kind of bird feeders. Another kind you can make is like this, and it just has one window open, and I hang the rope from the sides on this one. And this is just a cardboard milk container, and you put the seeds down in here and the birds can jump in and eat. Or you can put the dowels in this one as well and have little places for them to light and eat their seed. Another one of my favorites is this one. Again, I punched little holes and then cut out a larger hole for the birds to be able to get into it. And I put a little perch here. And then we just have to hang this on the tree limb. And that works very well. You can see all the seeds in here. And my dog wants to eat the seeds too, so we have to be real careful with that, because bird seed isn't real good for dogs. One of my favorites that I've just learned how to do that's very simple is to take just a toilet paper roll or a piece of a paper towel roll. And what we do is open up one of the favorites of our birds, and that's peanut butter. And we just get some peanut butter on our knife, and we coat our little container here. Birds love peanut butter and jelly for some reason. I didn't know they love jelly so much, but the peanut butter works great. And you get the peanut butter all around the toilet paper roll. Miss Lindsay, have you made one of these?
Not yet. I've only done the pine cone one, so I haven't made the toilet paper roll one yet. So I'm gonna be excited. I'm excited to try. Last week or a couple weeks ago, I actually made a bird feeder out of a gourd for the first time. So I'm super excited about that.
Oh, that's good. That's real good.
Miss Pam, what kinds of seed do you buy? Do you just buy the seed from like the regular store, like Walmart, or?
You can go to Walmart or you can go to Tractor Supply. I just have some seed I bought here a couple of days ago. And you just roll it around in the seed. I'll just do it here on the table. Make a mess here. And you just dip it and roll it. And you have a little string around it that you hang it on the tree. You just run that through. I used a shoestring on this one, but I've used colorful ribbons or whatever you would like to use, whatever you have handy. And then we take it out and hang it onto our tree. And I have a little tree here today that I'm using. And I just hang it in the tree where the birds can get it. So that's a lot of fun. And the birds find it easily. I promised some friends of mine I would attempt to do one hummingbird feeder, because hummingbird feeders, you can get real fancy with them. And I have a really nice one here that I bought. And the problem with this one is it gets full of bees and ants. So I have to constantly take it apart and wash it and then hang it up again. And so I thought, well, maybe there's an easier way. So I've tried a new way to do this. And again, I took my little handy drill and I have punched holes into a bottle cap and a little container like you would get when you eat out somewhere and get your condiments, these little plastic containers. And so what we do, first of all, is take a marker and we just make a little red dot here, 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 and here. Now, you're going to punch holes in those little red dots. With your drill, you can do it. Whoops.
Put it on the table.
And the little hummingbird can put its beak into that little tiny hole there. But we've got a lot more to do to get this whole top ready. So I'm going to speed up a little here and show you what it's like all together. Where did I put the finish? Here it is. And take my condiment piece off. This has water in it that has dripped from our container here, and I just put that back on. But let's take it apart and see what it looks like all the way through. In that container, I punched a hole in the middle that would fit onto my Coke bottle. And I've got the little holes drilled in the red here. And I just put that over the bottle. And you could get fancy and put a washer, I think, but you don't have to. It works just as well. And I punched a hole in the top of the Coke bottle. And I put that on next. And then I put the bottom of the condiment holder onto here. And I have sugar water in here that drips down into this holder. And then the hummingbird can fly over and just put its beak in those little red dots and get all the sugar water it needs to make its journey. And then I tied twine around the top of it so that I could hang it from a tree. And that's our hummingbird feeder. Very simple, easy to do, and you've recycled 2 pieces of plastic that makes it a lot better for the environment. And we hang that from the tree here so that our hummingbirds can come up. And one more is our little orange. This is the easiest to do of any of them. So if you come in here, we're just going to slice this. I've run out of room in my studio here. But birds love to juice from these. Now, what you can do is dip it in seed, and you can actually just hang the pieces of orange out, or sometimes I put those on top of the fence post, and the birds can come and eat some of the orange that way. But another thing I just learned about, if you want to get Oreos, is take a little grape jelly. And you can put a little bit of jelly onto the orange. And birds will come and attack your orange because they love this jelly. You can probably hear my dogs crying in the background. They love it too. And once the jelly is on there, you can sprinkle some more seeds, make a little gourmet bird feeder here, like so. And the birds absolutely love it. Now you can get fancy and tie it with knotted rope around it, or you can just set it out. I use a little can like this, and then I hang the can, and the birds, once they take the orange out, they can actually have more seeds inside. So that's how that works. But to get ready for all of this, you need to get just some twine or something that you can use to tie your bird feeders up to your tree. And as Miss Lindsay was talking about, we can do them with pine cones even, and put the peanut butter inside it, and then put the seeds on the peanut butter. And the birds love this one as well. And a lot of times teachers make these with you at school, so I didn't choose to make that one today. But one of the things that is really good if you want to get bluebirds is to get mealworms. And the mealworms have this suet dough around them, and you can get this special kind of food if you like your bluebirds. Mine love that. And the last but not least is not a homemade one, but you could build this out of wire. And this is a suet feeder. And this one opens from either side, and you can just load your suet block inside. I get these that are just for woodpeckers because I love to watch woodpeckers eat. And they get hungry in the winter. And it's kind of greasy, but you can follow recipes that are online and add oatmeal to it. And then we can load it in like so. And the woodpecker comes and just eats it right through here. And it's high in fat and gives them a lot of energy. And I put one on both sides usually. And you can add in with the fat here some oatmeal and some bird seed. Whichever recipe you really like, you can try that with the birds. So, any questions?
I don't think we have any questions so far, but I did not know about the jelly. So that's cool. I think I have a fence behind where I live, so I think I'm gonna start making the orange ones and putting them on the fence posts, like you said.
You can use grapes, you can use oranges, you can just slice some apples and put those out, and the birds just cover your fence with the little spikes at the top of your fence.
That's
so
exciting.
That's always fun to watch the birds that way.
Yeah, I think I really think I'm going to try that in the next couple of days to see what kind of birds come out.
And once you get everything set up, make sure you've got a good pair of binoculars, and you can just sit here on the porch and look out at the fence at your birds eating.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I think that will conclude this portion of our virtual component of Birdfest. Thank you so much, Miss Pam and Mr. Gary. He's our wonderful cameraman. We hope you all will get outside and look for birds around your home. We encourage everyone to visit our West Alabama Birding Trail destination here at Moundville and use our birding checklist while you're doing it. And make sure to check out all of our birding resources at moundville.museums.ua.edu. And don't forget to check out all the resources on discoveringalabama.org. And if you're enjoying our virtual content and would like to support us, please consider becoming a member at UA Museums at give.ua.edu/museums. And thanks for everyone who is watching with us live and to all of those who will watch this in the future. So thank you for attending our virtual component of Birdfest, and we will see you at the park. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.